He's got enough leg room back there?
Yeah.
Funny.
Oh, yeah.
This is Calvin Castine. It's December 1st, 1999, and we're doing a first of a series of 5 or 6 days in December where we're going to go around to the towns in our hometown cable viewing area and record what the towns look like at the end of the millennium, 1999. We're hoping to do all of the communities involved in the Channel 24 viewing area. So we've asked people, in this case today, from Mooers to join us. As we look at Mooers, we have as our pilot today, a man from the Champlain area, Dr. John Southwick, in the back seat. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on camera here. We have Earl Garand and Frank Goodrich Jr. And hopefully we've been able to see everybody. This is Calvin Castine, and we're just going to drive around and let these gentlemen talk, and we're going to listen in as we look at Mooers at the end of the millennium. All right, Earl, you're awfully talking a moment ago.
That's the old shedding place right here on the right.
On the right.
And on the left is Ozzy Plant.
We're probably going to be going up and down both directions, so we'll probably concentrate on the right.
Oh, all right.
And when we come back, we'll concentrate on the right and the other way.
This is the Methodist Church. And this is the old Spore. This is the old Sample place. It used to be Judge Sample. Then they turned it into the post office. It was a school at one time too. They had school there. And this here used to be the IGA and Dick Fee's dentist office and Max Stewart's drugstore. This here is the old, well, Manette's now, it wasn't. And then this is Edith Knapp's, Ken Knapp's, Edith and Ken Knapp. Then Bidwell Memorial Library. Then Morris Knapp, Kenneth Knapp's father. The railroad used to go right through here where this car is parked. And this was John Kennedy's restaurant at the time. And then there was Felix Jodouin's shoe shop, and then Fitch's store, and the Presbyterian church, and the parsonage, and Max Stewart's on the right, Fred Fillmore. And Jim Fitch. Chancey Humphrey. And this is the old Stoughton place. This was the Letson place. And Ina Boyce. Henderson Ray.
We'll be pulling over occasionally, let the traffic go by us once we get outside and the places are more spaced out. We should be able to keep going on a regular basis. Have you mentioned any places that...
No, you're up to the Pat Mahan place now, right on the corner that goes to Hemmingford.
Now, have you mentioned anybody who still lives here? These are all people that lived there 50 years ago.
Well, these are people that all lived here years ago. I'm going back to when the people were here. This was Wilbur Woodley's. He had a livery stable here and killed.
Also known as Moe's Supernaws at one point?
Well, Moe's Supernaws on the left. And this here was the half-girls, the half-sisters.
The half-sisters?
Yeah, that was right. That was their name, Half. Yeah, and this is right here where the fire station is with Wally McDowell's blacksmith shop. You remember that, Junior?
No, not quite.
No? And there was the big home here John Brooks built that Bert Snyder, the custom officer, lived in. Now these places up through here is all new places that's been built. Clarence Upton, Clarence LaValle, John LaValle. That was built by Gaylord Watts' father, Dave Watts. Now we're We're going out of the population now.
Yeah. I'll turn up go back down. Okay.
Oh, we can go all the way through because we're going to be coming. We're going to
Yeah,
come back
that's
anyway.
it. And this here is Billy O'Hara. This is a new home that the O'Haras built. And this place on the hill there on the right was Percy Brown's. And we come into the next home is Charlie Chandler's.
He was
On the left.
on the left. Oh, yeah, Chandler.
That was Chandler on the right too.
On the
Both
right,
of
too.
them?
Yep, there's Charlie Jr. and Charlie Sr. And this is a new home that was built.
Of course, Charlie Chandler's a good
And
story.
this
in
is
itself.
this is the old Pratt place, Ruby Pratt and Kathleen Pratt. And there was the blacksmith shop here. And I lived right here in this house 52 years ago. This is Alec Menor's old place. These are all new homes up through here.
Igor's supply.
Now, let's talk a little bit about Charlie Chandler as we look at these houses. That was an interesting person right there. I never knew the man, but he was blind, right?
Yeah, well, the young child was blind in the service. Is that right, Junior?
That's right.
He was blind in the service. And then old Charlie, young Charles lived across the road where I showed you on the right. And then after old Charles died, young Charlie moved across the road in his father's place. This is Douglas Dupree's here. We're getting in your area now, Junior.
Yeah.
There's quite a history of this corner right here.
Which side, Earl? This side?
Yeah, Sheffield Sawmill. I give the town a tape of the Gulf that I had made.
We're coming into Mooers Forks now, the village of Mooers Forks. These are all new homes. Mooers Forks Auto Repair. And here way up to the corner are practically all new homes. People moved in and built.
Well, as recently as the 60s, this would look a lot different then, right? Through here.
That's right, Calvin. Yes. Coming up on the right, this was the George Parsons undertaking parlor. He was here for many years.
Now, is that related at all to Oral's
That's
father?
Oral's
Uncle?
grandfather.
Grandfather.
Oral's grandfather. This home, this is
Oscar Dominy's here.
Oscar there. This is the home of Fraser Bushy. Used to live here, our mail carrier.
So we just went by the fork.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there'd be no Mooers Forks without that fork, right?
I believe this was the Davison girls' home right here. And this next house on the right was the Roberts family, Eugene Roberts. And the next building we have St. Anne's Church, a newly built rectory a couple of years back.
Go straight.
This is
Go
the
straight.
Leduc house here. And Mrs. That's a new home here. I don't know who in this. This was originally Charles Davison lived in this house.
A little bit of history right here.
There's
Business.
R&J store now. originally was built and ran for about 45 years by Frank Goodrich Sr., his wife Vivian. And this place right here is a new beauty parlor put up about 5-6 years ago. Going across the bridge in the Great Chazy River.
Tell me when you want me to turn around and come back.
All the way to Ellenburg.
All the way to Ellenburg.
Going
Okay.
to Ellenburg.
All right.
He's showing a lot of open stretches, but who knows what's going to look like 20, 50 years from now. That's why we're going to
That's
be going
great.
into a lot of open places.
On the right coming up will be the Sam Alford house. He's an old settler that lived here many years ago. This is the new home just rebuilt. On the right is the Moores Forks Union Cemetery. Got the old cedar Inn.
Who were the last people to operate the Cedar Inn, which was up ahead here?
Well, right now there's Ed Coons has a antique shop and
Flea market.
flea market.
But who were the last people to operate the
Drowns.
Oh,
Drowns.
Drowns?
Yeah.
Which drowns were those, Earl?
I don't just remember. I know he was a drown.
The Pliny Soden home here. This is the new house built over here on the right. The next on the right is the a former Lawrence Sweet home and farm. We now have a flower shop. I don't know. The next home on the right was a Frank Trombley farm. He was the last owner. We have new people living there now. I can't think of the old
Just
name.
past the Boas Road on our
What's
left.
that?
Old Sweet.
Yeah.
This was Melvin Sweet's home. He was an old settler in Moores Forks.
We don't need to get every home. If you guys want to tell us about somebody or whatever, just
Okay.
Earl, just make believe the
Park,
camera's not running.
Well, Junior missed the Parks place there.
Yeah. This was the Culligan farm here. They've now still maintain the property.
By the Lamberton Road. Are we kind of at the edge of the? I see Brian Powers' place on our left here.
yes,
Is this
up
the edge
by
of the northeastern
Irona.
district.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think when if we
Yeah, you see
turn
this
around
thing?
and go back up at the Irona turn up here.
McDonald's are in the northern Adirondack district.
We do go up a little bit farther up near to the McDonald Road.
highway line ends up here, but then it veers
Right.
off into Cannons also.
This is the Joe Snide home and farm. We go by here. We have a new building over on the left.
We're no longer in Champlain Telephone Company area.
No, but it actually angles off because we include Cannons too. You'll see Cannons Road entrance.
The telephone company goes up higher here, John. Goes down the Cannons Road up here.
Yeah, it goes up to the Cannons Road,
Yeah.
but I think that on Route 11
You turn right here.
it ends at this area and then kind of veers
Yeah.
northwest.
Now, is that McDonald Road,
That's a
old Route
McDo-
11?
That's the McDonald Road coming out on Route 11.
Yeah, but is that old Route 11? 'Cause I noticed
Yeah,
it.
yes. Yeah.
Here's the Cannons Corners Road.
When we come back, we'll head up down this road, Cannons Corners. I imagine when you get to this end of Mooers, people sometimes consider themselves to be part of Ellenburg, more
That-
so than Mooers in
well,
some cases.
That's the truth there.
Yes, they have, some of these folks have Ellingburg addresses, but they're in the Township of Mooers.
Even some of this area is considered Town of Altona too.
Yes.
You're coming into it right very shortly.
When we come up here to the Green Valley Road and the road to
Forest Road.
Western Auto, that's part of the end of our township.
And the Green Valley and the Forest Road. they
Forest
cross
Road
there, yeah.
split off here.
I think when we get to Candlelight, it's Candlelight's in Altona.
Uh,
We're here in Town.
Candlelight, I believe it's Altona or
We're
Ellingburg.
in the town of Altona now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, we're in the town of Altona. The Candlelight is in the town of Altona.
Well, we don't want to usurp the Altona territory, so we're not going to
Well,
turn around.
we're in Altona territory right now.
That's right. We don't want to get picked up by the Altona police.
There's only 500 counting livestock and cemetery anyway.
Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to switch our battery.
This mic is on okay, Calvin, I believe.
What's that?
This mic is on all right.
Yeah, that's all right. That's your mic back there.
Okay.
There, you're coming in the town of Mooers right now.
Now we're heading back to the Township of Mooers. Have the Culligan Farm on the right.
Forest Road, just a little ways up there is that big washout.
This is
Altona.
Carl Nephew's construction business here on the right. Next home on the right is a Spore home. On the left is Bushy's car repair service.
Now, is this spore related to Almeida spore?
No, I think
No.
they're a different
No,
family,
different
Dr.
spore.
John. Now what's this? Cannons Road, I guess.
Yeah.
Cannons Road, and we're heading in a northerly direction up towards Cannons Corners.
And a lot of this land in here used to be Dick Nephew's. Is it still in the family?
I think they do own some, yes. Some of the
You know where Dick is.
a lot of the
That was Bill McCord's
Bill
there.
McCord's home. Pretty near all these homes are new now. I don't know very many of them.
I mean, that's the old folks.
Yeah.
Whose sawmill is that?
Huh?
Whose sawmill is that?
I'm not sure on that sawmill.
It's
the
not
last-
Gilbert Side, is it?
No. Gilbert, the boy and his boy have a little mill right in Moores Fork, right in the village there. Practically all the homes on this road, but for a few, are new homes built in the last 10 years or more. I don't know who that is. Coming up on the right is the Harold Revenue Farm. He and his dad ran that for years. Now Harold is running it, and his wife.
Who was his father?
His father was Herman Revenue.
Herman, yes. Yeah.
The next farm on the right is a Gadway farm.
On the left, Sample Farm, right?
This is
No.
No.
that was a Gadway farm too.
Wait.
Over on the next on the right is the Sample. One of the Sample boys runs this, and his wife has a small dairy here, and they make maple syrup in our area.
You want to go left?
Straight.
Go straight. The customs office on the left. You're going to get the left?
Yeah, we'll come back.
Come back.
Up as far as the Bush Road and turn around. custom house up here open year round or seasonal?
Yeah, they open. Yeah, but they close at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They don't open after that till the next morning.
But they open year round?
Oh yeah.
I was driving by here maybe a month and a half ago. My wife and I came down from Canada part. On the other side, there's like a school that might have been there in the 60s and something. There's a whole bunch of buildings and not much around there. Any idea what was on the other side? That they call that area Frontier?
Yeah.
Looked like there was quite a little settlement there and just kind of abandoned.
I don't know what that would. I don't know, Calvin, what that would be. Might be.
Gentlemen know whose farm this is?
This is the Roma Dicas farm and McCannons Road in Mooers Fort.
He's probably got more stones per capita than anybody in the county.
Quite a few stones in our area here. That's why many of these farmers have to buy 5 and 6 plow points a year to till the land.
Well, you can see he's right on the ledge here.
It's all flat rock.
Flat
The
rock
golf
here.
course isn't too far from here. Famous golf. Sunny day at least.
This is the Harold McComb farm on the right here. They still live here, Harold and his wife. This is the Perry Sample home on the right.
Take to go to the golf, the Rock Road, is it?
That's right, that's the Rock Road.
Well named.
Corners is named after?
No, I don't.
I don't recollect anything right now. It perhaps was Calvin at one time. Cannons might have lived here in this area. Coming back into Cannon's Corners, we now have the Mooers rec field and the old town hall and the Mooers fire station. Gadway General Store was here. Mrs. Gadway is retired from the store business now. Still lives up over the store.
Is that where the immigration is there?
The immigration used to be in one end of that building there, yes, Dr. John. Now we're coming to the see the sugar house here, and this is the Alton Sample Farm. They make quite a bit of syrup here and have a dairy with his brother. I don't know what this.
Well, they hit pretty hard with the ice storm.
Yes, some of our sugar makers didn't even bother to make syrup this last year but now they're trying to clean out the bushes and get ready. This was another Gadway farm here, run by Gerald Gadway and his wife. Practically all of these homes were built in the last 15 or 10 to 15 years, so we have so many new people moved in that we don't always know what their names are at present.
I would guess, without knowing, that Mooers has been one of the fastest growing as far as new homes going down in the county.
Yes, the last few years we've had great progress in home building. People moving in, new trailer homes and regular built homes.
Mostly local people that have stayed, children have stayed and built, or people moving
Some are local people that have, I guess, grown up, got married, and we do have a lot of outside people that have moved up in our area too now. They seem to like this area to settle in, which helps our tax base very much up here.
No matter how cold it gets in the wintertime, it's still a beautiful country.
It is nice, yes.
Silver coated and got down into the single digits last night.
Yes, it was very cool. On the right here we have Herman Rebidoux Jr.'s home and his wife. This area was used to be known as Rockland Inn country. The Rockland Inn has since disappeared, but people are building new homes and places.
What was the Rockland Inn? What was that?
Sort of a nightclub operation.
Drinking and everything?
Yeah, drinking and such stuff as that.
In the town of Mooers?
Mooers Forks.
Yes, Mooers Forks. Not Moors, just Mooers Forks.
I guess maybe I remember that once or twice.
See, I don't remember that. Is it long gone then, I assume?
I can tell you a lot of stories about the Rockland.
Yes, I'm sure you can.
But this is Junior's territory.
That's all right. Good clean story. There's Decos farm. Good clean stories are always welcome, Earl, so go ahead.
On the right is the Joe Snard farm operation now. His son runs this.
On the road, and to our left, what's that?
Giro
Giro
Road.
Road. On the right coming up is just the former Warren Parks farm and home.
They've still got a Zerlo sign up there on their lawn.
Yeah.
That's Brian Powers' house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say this next farm is the most famous farm in the whole county. They had the scream heard around the world here when those light poles went down during the ice storm.
That's right.
Mrs. Ashland was taping. CNN had that, and you name it, everybody had coverage of that tape. Back in the Cedar Inn area, was that mainly a restaurant
Restaurant and
Bar room.
bar room.
and a bar, Joe?
Yes, they had both. On the right is the old William Soden place here, this red brick structure. Coming into Mooers Forks. the right is the gift shop here. Have all kinds of nice gifts for the holidays and cards and things.
Now the Pepper Hill Road, that's old Route 11 again?
That's old Route 11, yes.
Okay.
According to history, my father used to run the store in Mooers Forks, and he'd always tell these people they lived on Pepper Hill Road. And it really wasn't Pepper Hill Road, but now that's what the name of it is. They finally named it Pepper Hill Road. I guess he was the instigator of that operation.
It was the O'Neill Road.
O'Neill Road there for a while, yeah, way back.
Are we going to go by where the O'Neill
Homestead.
brothers and Homestead? I know where the Owen O'Neill was. Wait. Where was Jim O'Neill?
The other place was Dr. John, just up by beyond the Agway or the balloon factory now that burned.
Should we go left or right here?
Left would bring you up on the, if you want to go way to
There's garage.
Bear's Garage on the right.
What about Wilmer Dominy's over there on the right?
Dominy's house over on the right. This home on the left here was a post office at one time and owned by Charles Davison, who was postmaster, he and his wife. Here's the balloon factory, the former Mooers Forks station and train stop. Right here on where Calvin is going, right by that big tree there, was the O'Neill residence where Dr. Owen and his family lived, which is long gone. It burned.
These trees look kind of old, like they might have been around for a while.
This was the Charlie and Mary Hart residence. They were old settlers. Charlie worked on the railroad for many years here and retired. Most all these places now are new homes, or new people that have moved in.
Let's take a left up here at the corners and head back toward Candace Corners. I think this is an interesting stretch of road through here too.
Okay.
We'll come back and do the rest of Mooers Forks after.
Whose farm is that there? Right.
That used to be the Levancher farm. Way
Provencher?
back. Yes.
John or John's father?
This
Tim
was
Levancher's father.
This was another Levancher, yeah. His name was Bly, I think.
Yeah.
Bly Levancher.
Bly Levancher.
They ran a dairy there. These here are all new homes as we progress towards up the Lamberton Road.
Don't leave him out. Or it's all tore down.
This place here on the with a green siding on was the old Mose Residue farm. It was on both sides of the road here. He was our longtime resident. Since gone.
These are all new ones.
Certainly a lot of construction through this little stretch right here in the last 15 years.
This was the
Medrick
Boutat farm, Medrick Boutat farm.
Frank and Hortense still live there, right?
Yes, they still live in the home place.
There's a lot of new places going.
Yeah.
just went by. That girl married that man.
Speak up, Earl.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get involved in the junior section.
Oh, that's all right.
A lot
She
of
married in
the
Gibbons.
last few years.
Yeah, Ron Gibbons and his wife lived there. Or his mother lived there.
Yeah.
Who's that?
that older home way back was where Ron Gibbons and Marion lived. Their mother bought that. We're now approaching the Lamberton farm. Robert Lamberton and his wife Janet. They had a fire a few months ago, and they've got the place pretty well coming back. New milking parlor. You can see some of the construction on the back end of the barn.
Now it's coming back from the Malone area when that fire was going. You can see that miles and miles away.
Yeah. They have a big dairy here. Possibly upward 300 cows plus or more.
Of course, their farm was very much prominent in the ice storm coverage too, with cattle dying.
That's right.
Got to give farmers credit in our area, particularly how resilient they are. They come back.
It is. A very rugged breed of people. I guess they have to be to stand the hours and the work.
Davison Road we're on?
This is the Davison.
Yeah,
that's right. Right to Cannon. It goes right through to Cannon's corner.
Now, was this ever a big main thoroughfare back? It took you up toward Cannon's back? You know, was there ever traffic through there?
I would believe so. Perhaps during Prohibition days, this was the main route for the runners to run their big Cadillacs down through. This was formerly the Jim Davison farm, and the Gadway boys and their father took over the operation, but it is now owned by some other people, I believe from Europe. I'm not sure. They don't do much farming or dairy work on it right now.
Well, they've had a couple of bad fires here too.
Yes. And the winter ice storm did a great job on their barn back there, pushed the roofs all in.
That home has been around a while. Any idea who lives there?
No. Coming up on the right is the Roger LaValle farm. His dad and mom used to run this, and he still has this operation here.
His aunt just died last year, Mrs. Matt. She was, what,
107.
107?
Yeah, that's right. One of our oldest natives in the town of Mooers. Yeah.
As I understand it, when she was here, she never missed a day without going to Mass every single day.
Yeah.
Nice old car out there in the yard there, John.
Sure did.
Old Joe Rebidoux place.
Yeah. Also noticed Santa Claus trying to get up the roof.
What year is that car, John?
It's a 1946. Or 47.
What is it?
Pontiac.
Why don't you just do about 4th?
Well, my eye wanders a little bit in other directions sometimes.
By golly, John, your boy Steve is well liked down at the telephone office.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
Huh?
He's a good guy, and his father
Yes, he
can
is.
say that.
Certainly is.
Especially on tape.
Yeah.
We should point out to everybody this would be a much better view in the summertime when we won't see all the broken treetops.
That's right.
That's part of history, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Unfortunately.
going to tell you, that was a beautiful place right there, where the barn's all down.
That was, yes.
Walter had a lot to do with that too, Walter Davison.
Yeah.
It's old Wally McDowell place right here.
That's pretty well gone down, eh?
Wally McDowell?
Yeah.
He was a blacksmith, and he had a shop in Mooers and then also in Mooers Forks for a little while.
Antoine Pratt had one in Torrance Corners.
Mooers Corners, yeah.
Related to Orville?
No, Pratt.
Pratt.
It was
That
a
was
different
Ru-
family.
Yeah.
Ruby Pratt.
This is
Kathleen
Walter
Pratt.
Davison home, our former supervisor on the right here. Since passed on.
98, between 98 and 99, I think.
I think so, yes, he would, John.
Cousin Norman used to tell me that the doctors told Walter's mother, when Walter was a little boy, that he had to take very good care of him because he probably wouldn't live very long.
Yeah. Yeah, he was pretty good right up till the last there.
So they must have taken real good care of him.
He sure did. Walter took good care of himself.
These are all new homes here built in the last few years, right down through.
Want to go this way or you want to go back?
I think we might as well go back. What do you guys think? A lot of open spaces out here in these back roads.
Yes, my granddad and my father lived there. Dad was born here, and my grandfather moved up from Scioto, New York, and his wife came. My grandmother Melissa came from Vermont. And they lived in the Shazy area growing up, and then they migrated up towards Moores and Moores Fork. And they always worked, and Grandpa worked in the country stores as my father did way back then. And I was also born in Moores Forks, and lived here all my life so far.
Guys who says last you lived here all your life and say not yet, huh?
Not yet. 74. On the right here is the old Freeman LaValle farm. This two-story house here. Dickie Lambert and his wife now live there. That was an old landmark. The barn has since gone. And this Mrs. Matt that we just talked about lived on this corner right of this blue home. For her husband built it here, and they lived here for many years.
Albert Mann.
Yeah. That's the Snide Boys lumber business back there, John, on the right. That Gilbert's son. These are all new homes here. We go down towards the corner. We're over on Town Hall Road now. Here's the Moores Fork School. One side.
We would have had great evidence in court, John.
That's right. We all fell out with our broken back.
Totally disabled the rest of our lives.
Yeah, but some of us are already.
Over on the right's a former Nellie Armstrong homestead, run by Ricky Rabideau now.
And of course, because we were heading up the other way, we didn't really look at the Guy Howard's up here. We can turn around in that yard and come back.
The old milk station.
This was the former Dairymen's League and another company's milk station. Was purchased by Mr. Guy Howard, who ran a plumbing and heating business for many years from this operation.
Junior's father-in-law.
That's right.
Royce Pombrio had it for a while, then was Francis Menard the last one to operate it?
Now Jeff LeDuc is running it now.
Was still operating?
Yes, sheet metal and general work.
Don't forget to put the Sarah Carter home in here.
That's the old Carter residence on the right here.
Where was McDowell's store? Wasn't there a McDowell's store?
That's in Moores.
That's in Mooers.
Oh,
Over on the corner that's torn down back.
oh, that's right.
Yeah, where the slipper shop was.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the town hall, built in 1898 by my wife's grandfather, Henry Howard. We'll soon be moving into our new offices in Moores, at the Moores Fire Station.
Well, what's going to become of that building?
That's a schoolhouse here, built in 1928. Calvin, I'm not sure what's going to happen to the building. I guess the board will have to decide what they're going to do when the time comes.
I think we should swing over and maybe go down toward Woods Falls while we're in this neck of the woods.
The old Bill Ray place.
Yeah. I guess we covered
How long has Paris Garage been there, Frank? All the time you guys were open?
Oh yes, yes. Mr. Emile Leduc bought that for Mr. Robert Ray, who built it, and it's been going a long time, early 1900s. This is the new bridge here over the Shady River, put up a few years ago. Up here on the right is the used to be the former Trombley Inn, ran by John Trombley and his wife for many years.
That was a restaurant or what?
They had a restaurant and rooms. You could have lodging there. Took care of many salesmen and people that came into town by railroad in the old days.
Check, my grandmother was a Trombley.
Uh-huh. Farm on the right was run by Lawrence Gadway and his wife for many years. Now has a new owner. I'm not sure of their names.
Sandy Hill.
Yeah.
Says it right on there, Sandy Hill.
Sandy Hill Dairy.
They farm it?
Yes, he started farming again. This new party that moved in there.
Did Francis Menard run that for a while?
No.
No?
Giles Rebideau had originally had it. He was the last.
Giles has had that put back in his hand 2-3 times. It's
Yeah.
been sold 2-3 times.
Over on the right is the Perro's trucking business. Up on the right, this house here was formerly owned by Robert Ray, which you read about in your Mooers history, now owned by the Misek family.
I didn't know I read about that in the Mooers history.
Yeah.
You're going to.
I'm going to, okay. There's a new book out, right?
Yes, I just got one out there. Just got it printed a few weeks ago. Yeah, it's very good.
Say that's for sale through Carol Nadeau.
Yeah, and also in Jack Dragoon's office in the at Jack's place of business there. Carol Berry takes care of.
They got them at the library too.
Yes. At the Mooers Library, you can pick up a copy. We're right now in downtown Woods Falls. Many years ago was a very thriving place. The home over onto the Ivory Place was owned by the Wood family. That's the last relic of the Woods Falls days, except the bridge is here. The stone structured bridge down underneath there, still standing.
Certainly one of the prettiest places in the town.
That was the old Fred West place.
Fred West.
My father and I come up there when
Yeah.
Jack Dempsey and Gene Tony fight. He was the only one that had a radio.
Yeah.
We come up and listened at 1927.
Uh-huh.
Listen to the fight right there.
Yeah. That time a radio was quite a thing, I'll tell you.
Francis St. Maxon told me about the West leaving here early in the morning by horse and wagon, going to work for miners during the day, coming back at night, doing their own chores. 6 days a week to work for miners. Never missed.
That's right.
Up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, get back about 10 o'clock at night.
There was better workers them days than there is now.
We talked today about how hard we work. I
Yeah.
think we ought to look in the past and say what real hard work was.
Well, I think a lot of us found out in the ice storm that
What a day's work is, huh?
just putting heat on your bodies and food in your belly was a full-time job back then in the wintertime. And they carried on jobs besides it.
Yes.
Are we on the Emery Road? What are we on?
Huh?
What road are we on? The Emery Road?
Oh, Woods Falls.
Falls Road?
Woods Falls Road. Goes right up into Alcona.
I know where we were, but I didn't know what the name of the road was.
The Emery Road is where you just come off the bridge on Morse Lodge, turn to the left.
Emery Road, just that little stretch there where the trailer got washed out.
Right.
There used to be a sawmill down here. Is it still in operation?
Yes, down in this home we just passed was the Monty residence. They still cut wood there, I believe. They have a portable sawmill.
Genesee beer, is that getting too close to Mooers, or are we still in Mooers Forks? We're still in Mooers
We're still in Mooers
Forks.
Fork,
Okay.
so. Coming up on the right is the St. Anne Cemetery. Mooers Forks. The next home coming up on the right here was formerly owned by Frank Willett, an old residence from Mooers Forks. Wally Willett's dad, now owned by Robert and Sylvia Scriver.
Wally's wife lives right there, Ruth.
Yes, she lives right next to them there. The next home on the right was formerly owned by the Jim Davison family. They have some new people in there now that have renovated it and added on.
Kitties from the mailbox.
Yeah. This house on the corner here was owned by Robert Soden and his wife. They both passed away since.
Daughter still live there? One of the daughters?
I don't believe so. I think a new family has moved in there, John, right now.
So we covered Mooers Forks.
I think pretty well, Calvin.
Okay.
I haven't mentioned all the homes because I don't know a lot of the new people. It's a Methodist church on the right here. Been renovated and painted up. And the Mooers Forks post office and Cindy's Sample store.
Now, do you use that the church year round, Frank? Or?
We use the church 2 months of the year in July and August. Then we join in with the Mooers Church for the rest of the year. It's been a very convenient situation, so we can keep our building intact and use it without having to tear it down and things like that. Now I'll turn it over to Earl. We're heading towards Mooers.
Hang right on it and I'll...
On the right here is a Jim Dugan wood business. He makes all kinds of wood chairs, seats, whatever you'd like, foot lockers and so forth. Been very busy there.
Where's he from?
Jim taught school down around south of Albany for many years. He was an athletic coach, and then when he retired, he had married a lady, a Labarge lady from up here. So that's where he settled, up here. He has a nice summer camp up around Woods Falls, back in the woods up there. I believe he stays in Plattsburgh during most of the year. Over on the right is Sample Lumberyard.
The Dupreys weren't the first ones to have a sawmill there, right?
That's right. Eddie Dupree and his brother ran a sawmill many years and then sold it to
Wasn't there someone
Samples.
there before Dupreys?
right.
Or not?
Harrison Rainey.
Harrison Rainey ran it many years before that.
And there was Sheffield Sawmill there, and then
Before?
the Excelsior Mill, and the dam. I'm going to let you take over, Junior.
No, you go, both of you.
Well, we'll get in an argument.
Well, that's all right. We don't mind taping arguments, do you, Calvin?
That's right.
I don't know who this
Place here the better.
house was here. Menard boy lives there now.
Yeah.
All right, Thorne's Corners. We ought to go take a.
That's the old Bernie Bernard place.
This was the Bernard Menard place here. Since passed away.
This was the Elliot Menard place, and right there, the Fountains live today.
Yeah.
Bernard Menard turned out a lot of priests, didn't they?
Yeah, they had a lot of people that joined in the clergy in their family.
This is the old Rod Thorne farm.
He and Vic, Bernard and Vic West worked for years and years. Never had anything in writing, just handshake. According to Vic, and I guess Bernard too. They,
You know this
Got
area.
along
This
well.
is what it is.
On the Tappan Road now.
We're on the Tappan Road. It joins the Gilbert Road on the other end, 2-3 miles over. A lot of these homes here have been built in the last few years, and they're some of them are local residents, and their families decided to move in.
Was there a Tappan family or?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is Arthur Tappan's over on this
The old
side.
Tappan home we just
Tappan's
went
on
by
this side.
here,
That's where Eleanor and Elizabeth Tappan was born and brought up.
now owned by Arvil Netto and his wife. too many homes on this side.
Back.
Yeah, I'm just turning around and go back.
That's the Ronald Kingsbury farm on the right. Henry Buller's farm.
Where Henry lived?
Yeah.
That was where Mike bought, right? Mike bought Henry's
Yeah,
place.
Mike Buller's lives there now, yeah.
There were 11 or 12 farms on that road at one time, and what is it, one left?
I think just one left
Just
now.
Just the,
Yes, only the Gilbert.
Brooks?
The Brooks, just the
Yeah,
Brooks family.
the old Gilbert farm.
Yeah. Back over on the right, you'll see Scott Kingsbury has a metalworking shop. He does quite a lot of work, helps the local farmers with their problems. If they need metalwork done, he can take care of them. Right here in Mooers.
You got a lot of, I still call it Sheridan Ironworks, old machinery.
He does a lot of piecework, I think, too,
Yeah.
John.
He does.
Yeah. Going along this road, you'll see a lot of road signs with different names on. People live back off the road. They seem to enjoy having their home away from the main road. So we have quite a lot of new houses on this road.
Let's go straight.
This was Antoine Pratt's
Blacksmith
blacksmith shop right there. I don't know who lives there now, but that is the old Pete Narrow home right here.
That's right.
But I don't know who lives there now.
I don't know a lot of these folks.
Saint Sever. Roland Saint Sever.
Sevier. This is the Albert Longton place.
Railroad run through here.
Yep.
You see the old vet there. I don't know if I've ever ventured down this road.
What's that,
I don't know if I've ever ventured down this road. I've been on the other part of the Tappan Road, but not on
Well,
this
it's
part.
not very thickly populated, this road here.
Comes down in the North Star, right?
Or they got everything cut off.
Oh yeah, the wood's all going.
Yep.
Kind of too bad. They'd restore it or replant, but these are all new homes built in the last few years. At the end of this Garin Road.
We'll turn around here. for an update for those people just joining us and wondering what the heck we're doing. We've got Dr. John Southwick at the wheel, Earl Garand in the back seat, along with longtime town clerk Frank Goodrich Jr. How long you been town clerk, Frank?
This year, I believe, Calvin, I've been town clerk 32 years.
And how many years before that was your father town clerk?
Dad was town clerk for 45 years, and my granddad Anselm was town clerk for about 5 years before he was.
Is there a gap in there where there wasn't a Goodrich?
Huh?
Is there a gap in there where there wasn't a Goodrich?
Yes, 2 years during World War I, Ralph Lewis was town clerk, and Dad went into service. Then when he came back, Dad took over again.
Did Ralph give it up graciously, or did your
I
father
think yes. I think Ralph.
have
Ralph.
to challenge him?
No, Dad didn't have to run. It's kind of interesting. I don't believe Dad ever ran. I'm not sure, and I've never had to run for office and get out and shake hands and knock on doorbells, but we've enjoyed it for all these years.
Everybody was unopposed this year at Mooers, right?
That's right, Calvin. Mooers were unopposed.
What kind of a town is this? Everybody gets along.
Yeah. We've been fortunate. So far, we've had good luck over the many years. The board gets along well.
Who's on the town board now besides you and Jack?
Jack, and we have Harry Gagno and Robert Dumas, Eugene Bushy, Rudy Miller. And Dick Bulris is our superintendent of highways.
Jack, of course, is Jack Dragoon.
Yeah, Jack's our supervisor. Earl, you wanna give him a shot? Here?
Well, you hold on there. And what do they want? Al, where are we going to start? Right here in the Charlie Chandler place?
You go right ahead anytime. Jump in anytime, Earl.
Okay, this is on the right is Charlie Chandler's home. And on the right is Junior Willette's. And on the right is the next home is Menor. The next home is the two girls. I can't think of their name.
Musso girls.
Musso girls, right?
Yeah, Cindy and Musso.
And then there's the trailer park, the Pine Tree Trailer Park. And there's Brucey Sample and Rebidu. And I don't know the people that live in the next house. A new family moved in. And this is the old Bradley place here on the right, Ellen Bradley. And this is ours now, but it was the old Garand residence. And there's,
How about in the back there?
well, that's the chief.
Earl's house himself.
And what's that, the A&L?
A&L Diner, now Sandy's Deli.
Sandy's now.
Yeah.
Sandy's Country Kitchen.
And the truck stop, and then there's George LaValle's. Used to be the old sweet place. And there's Dragoon's farm equipment. Now, I don't know the people in this next home, but I know the owners of it before, Dr. Hollis Stevenson, residence. What cemetery is that, Junior? That's the Riverside Cemetery, yeah. Then you go up this street here, Mill Street.
The old Lagway here in Twitzer Battery.
You go up Mill Street here. There used to be Martin's Milliner Shop right here, old Mrs. Martin's Milliner Shop. And then there was Charlie Boyer's. And there was Ralph Lamberton's farm. There was a grist mill up in there.
Well, hang on, we'll go take a spin up there. Let me fix this battery.
Want to do it now?
Alright, our battery's in and we're continuing.
All right, this first place on the right is the old Charlie Boyer place. He was a plumber and
That were
That Ralph Boyer?
no.
No?
This is Lee and Mary Gordon.
that's right. But it was the Charlie Boyer place.
Is he related to Ralph Boyer? You know?
I don't know. I'll tell you.
Different.
Curtis?
No.
No?
Different. It's spelled different, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think so.
spelt different. And this is Mildred Waddell here on the right, and this is the old Ralph Lewis place on the right. There used to be a grist mill right here.
On the left?
Yeah. Now we're coming up to the old Ralph Lamberton residence and the farm.
Any idea who lives there now?
I'm not sure. I'll tell you the truth. I haven't been up this road for quite a spell. But old Emery Downs had a big black stallion, and they winched out all that old mill parts and everything up out of there on a winch with a horse. And we were just kids, and we sat there and watched them. Yeah, the old grist mill was right here.
Who ran the grist mill?
That I couldn't tell you, John. It was all going down, and that's when they were tearing it down. And I guess I was maybe 6, 7 years old.
Okay.
So I don't. Yeah, there was. The boys was all there watching that. That horse was quite a thing to see on that pole.
Must
Yeah.
have been, yeah.
Let's go up the Hemingford Road. It's around this road now, anyway. Now, Mo Supernaw's
Mo
Car dealership
Supernaw's
is right
garage was right here. That was a milliner shop. Old Mrs. Martin's. And then Mo Supernaw's dad bought the property, and they tore that down, and they built Mo Supernaw's garage.
Rambler dealer.
Yeah, Rambler.
They still Rambler.
There's the old Eva Boyer place. Oh, I don't. Oh, I know. There's
Lee and Lemires.
Lemire. This is by Henry White's daughter's place. It was the old Emile Emlaw place, Arthur Emlaw.
Did you guys go to school here at Mooers Central, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, we both went here. Earl went early in the older school. And I came down before they tore the old school down in 7th grade. Then they built a new one.
Well, they celebrated the 50th anniversary of that school a few years back.
That's right.
So they just tell me you guys are old.
Yes. Don't rub it in. There's the oldest house in Mooers right there.
Really?
That's the Jack Orr place. That's the oldest. Is that right, Junior?
Right.
That's the oldest house in Mooers.
Any idea who the original homesteader was?
Jack Orr.
Jack Orr?
Yeah. He used to deliver milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the oldest one here. He was the first one here. Who did he deliver milk to?
Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. It must have been somebody here after or before.
Was that Willard and Leeward's father?
Grandfather.
Grandfather.
Was
No,
it?
their father.
Was it their
That'd have
father?
been
That's right, father.
Yeah. Mr. Orr had he delivered milk like they do in the city with a horse and rig, and the horses had rubber shoes on so they didn't clunk, make too much noise.
This is the Wesleyan Church. There's a lot of old timers right down that street there. This is used to be Dr. Mulvey's. You remember him, Junior? Yeah, Dr. Mulvey.
Mulvey?
Yeah.
When was that, Earl?
Well, that's a long time ago because my Uncle Rob used to work for him. And, geez, that's a long time ago, Junior. But that was his home there.
Was he a doc? Was he a
Well,
physician?
veterinary, wasn't he, Junior?
Veterinarian?
I think he was a veterinary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the old Stanley Baker place. Now it's the Brooks, I guess.
Right.
I guess the Brooks boys run it, don't
Yeah.
they?
Tommy Brooks runs this now.
This is the old R place.
Leeward.
Livered, yeah. Boy, Jack has got quite a home there.
That's a nice home there. He's got built.
Let's go as far as the North Star Farm, North Star Road.
And this here is Stratton place.
Stratton Farm.
Alvin
there.
Stratton.
Alvin.
Wait a minute, I think, wasn't that the Baker farm up there?
Yeah. That was Stanley Baker.
Stanley Baker farm. I thought it was. There's the old North Star schoolhouse,
Where's that?
right there in front of us. That,
Blue House?
yeah. Yeah.
Is that a one-room schoolhouse?
What's that?
Is that a one-room schoolhouse? Or?
Well, I don't know. I guess it was, but they've built on.
Huey Hogel's house now.
Yeah. It's a Hogel residence now.
There's Huey right there.
Yeah.
Turned on the North Star Road. We'll go as far as the Whitney's Corners.
Well, you'll be coming up to the Garren Road again there now.
Where we came out.
Oh, by where we came out, yeah.
Uh-huh.
By where we came out, yeah.
Yeah.
At least it'll give us a chance to mention Mesek Road. And, won't be too far away from Mesek
This is
Road.
the poor old John Kennedy's place here on the right up here, right there. That the Hogels bought it and they built over, but that was old John's little cottage.
Why would you call him poor old John?
Well, poor old John and Earl's father were the mainstay of the telephone company maintenance back in when?
Oh, geez, a long time ago, John, in the 40s. Because your grandfather was alive then in old Mooers.
No.
Yeah. Dad and Uncle Rachel worked for the telephone company for
That's right, I forgot about
38,
Rachel.
40 years.
Earl's father was also John.
Right.
And we're right back to the Garren Road now.
Eddy Road on one side, Garren Road on the other
Yeah,
side. And then it
Eddy
turns
Road
into
went to
Tappan
the
Road.
right.
Then it turns into the Tappan Road. You guys can't make up your minds what the name of the road around here.
I
Well,
want to cover everybody.
I didn't put the signs up.
My road map here says Bush Road, Scriber Road, Eddy Road. All the same road.
Well, there's one time the town wanted to change the Tappage Road over to the Netto Road.
Over to what?
Wanted to change it over to the Netto Road.
Oh.
There was a talk about that. Eleanor and Elizabeth didn't go heavy for that.
It's like a surf. There's some surf back here, some of these people.
What's that, man?
Any maple surf back here? I think I just saw a maple surf shack there.
One of the Garren
Oh,
boys makes a little
yeah.
syrup there. Robert, is it? I
Yeah.
think Robert Garren.
Reginald's boy.
Yeah.
you see this gate here, that used to be the Eddy farm back there. This gate right here, that was the Eddy farm. That was a nice place back in there. There's this old blind Levanters here.
You know, that's original. Well, when we come back, that was original Southwick house back in the 1700s. One of the original Southwick.
Yeah. I know. I remember blind Levanter living there. That's,
Yeah.
You're getting right back up into junior territory.
Right.
We're gonna go straight. We're gonna go as far as the Mesek Road because I want to just this close. We're gonna at least
See the road.
go see where Mr. Mesek used to live. Hometown cable holds him that.
Right.
Where Howard Lamberton lives right now.
Howard did live there. We have a new family lives there now.
Again?
I'm not sure.
This is the new home that the Walkers built here. I don't know who lives there.
That's one of the Revenue boys owns that new home. On the right here is Roger Guerin residence, maroon colored siding on it. This is Guerin boys home here. Coming up on the right is home of Norm and Leona Davison. Norm's one of our older residents.
Originally, it was my great-grandfather's farm,
Yeah.
Edward, back in the mid-1800s.
Southwick.
Yep.
And then
Here.
the next farm on the right was where Norm and Leona ran this dairy for many years. Their son lives here now. They raise a little young stock.
That's where grandfather was born there.
It was, yeah.
Yep. Grandfather Oren.
Whitney's Corners. Who's Whitney anyway? Any idea?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure. I think Mr. Whitney ran a butter factory or one time or another back in the early days.
Ways up here on our left will be the Mesek Road.
Right.
Revenue Farm on the corner.
This is Reginald Barcombe's brother's farm, or Reginald Barcombe's farm.
Yeah, up there.
Yeah,
That
up
one.
now.
Yeah.
This is Revenue here now.
See that there?
Any idea where that is?
That's Lionel Barcombe and his wife lived on that home we just went by.
Mesek Road now. Bob Ben said it was full of Mesek.
Full of what?
Full of Mesek.
This is the
Well,
Robert.
it's dead end, so it can't be too full.
This is the Robert Revenue farm. He's
Revenue here.
retired now, off from the farm. Somebody else is running that. They're all new people to me up in here. I don't
I know Jim Mesek lives up here on the right and on the left, rather.
That's Jim's old farm.
Yeah.
Jim's sawmill there.
Jim is dead, isn't he?
Huh? Jim died.
Oh, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were coming down here. He died 1997.
One of Bob's is
Oh, look
Calvin's favorite program. It has to be.
Look at the buildings, how they're going, huh? That's something?
This building's collapsed since we were here in 94.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yep. This was Bob and Calvin's favorite program. This was
Mine.
everybody's
favorite program.
Jimmy Misak.
There ain't not much left to it.
No? A remarkable individual. And he healed quickly, John.
Yes. Yep.
You warm, Junior?
Not too bad. No, I'm all right.
Son.
On the right here we have the Gilbert and Shirley Residue Farm. Ran a dairy for many years.
A couple of years ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
She was on the school board for many years. To our right, it takes us back to Route 11. Of course, all roads lead to Route 11 in Mooers, right?
Yeah.
Was your grandfather the first one that owned this farm in the family, John?
Great grandfather,
Great-grandfather.
Edward. Grandfather born there in 1870.
How'd they come here, any idea?
Well, they moved from down east here in the 1700s. Some infamous history about a couple of the Southwicks, Daniel and David. Two things. They hid up in here during the Civil War and hired people to go in their place. They weren't the bravest.
Well, that was common, though. That was
Yeah, that was the trip.
common. It wasn't unique to them.
And at that time they were Presbyterians, and they got in some kind of an argument in the Presbyterian church in Mooers, and either David or Daniel swore at the other one, and they were both kicked out of the church. Didn't like that kind of language going on in the church.
Well, that's when your family began to
Became Methodist.
became Methodist. Huh?
Turned the corner, actually
feel all
became
right?
Wesleyan Methodist.
I'm going to have John's.
You want to tell us about the Farr house
This
here?
is
that
the
was?
original Albert Farr farm here, and the house burned a few years ago. His son Howard and his wife ran it till the house burned. It's a very nice home.
It was a beautiful home.
Yeah.
F-A-R-R, how'd you spell farm?
Farr.
Southwick residence back in the 1700s.
It was, John?
Yep.
I've
Yeah.
only known it as the long
Levanture.
yeah, Levanture.
It's owned by a Canadian now.
Yeah.
Back about 20 years ago, Broder Lucas was after me. He said, "You buy that? It's history." And I said, "No, I don't need it." I'll shut up now and let Earl go on from here.
I'm going to let Junior do the talking. He's smarter than I am.
A lot of these new homes on this road, the North Star Road, are owned by local residents. Have built them in the last few years. Done a very fine job on them. Calvin, I don't know if you want to run over this short road here and hit the town garage. Maybe that wouldn't be. I don't know if that'd be of interest to what you want. I guess this is the Miller Road, I think.
This is the Miller Road. Yep.
Missile base site.
This is the former missile base site. We have a new town garage over there. We'll be approaching shortly.
The question came up: was there ever missiles housed at any of those sites?
Yes.
There were.
Yeah, once in a while, John, if you were in the area, they would bring the missile up. You could see it. And they'd open the doors and bring that missile up there with a monstrous thing. They sealed the silo, welded it shut. It's full of water, but the government still owns it. They keep their hand on these missile bases, I guess, forever. The town boys did quite a little of their own work on this building. Did a beautiful job on it. You can drive right through, John. Turn around if you
Dickie
want.
Bullis is a pretty handy little carpenter.
Yeah, he's a good carpenter.
Quonset huts.
Yeah, we had two Quonset huts, and one of the Quonsets was the town garage until they built this new unit here.
It's too bad that they had to change the color of Jack's building.
Yeah.
You know, it was the same color as the building across the road.
Yeah. The company decided, I guess I don't know, it's a funny idea sometimes. I guess they do.
Looks like we're heading the other way now.
You're heading back out to 11.
Which way you want to go?
That way, go back to North Star. Back there?
Yeah.
Carroll home?
That's Glen Turrell's home. The home of Glen Turrell, or it was.
Henry, where's Henry live? Does he live there or does he live down here? Henry
Down here.
Turrell.
Henry lived just this side of the Glen with that new porch on it there.
There was a Turrell lived here, wasn't there?
Yeah, Roger Turrell's home here formerly lived in this building.
Roger Milk worked for the milk
Going
plant.
down the Dupre Road.
Straighter down the Dupre Road.
Not much down Dupre Road, is there?
Not a lot of homes there.
No offense to the people on the Dupre Road who might be watching this, but I'm trying to squeeze this into 2.5 hours. Let's skip some roads.
On the right here we have the Leon Rebidoux home. He does construction. Formerly the Glen Turrell home. This stone house here was refurbished and all fixed up.
See a stone house like that, you figure it's been around for a while.
Oh yeah. It's been there as long as I can remember. Glenn was a great man up at the campground. He sure put on a show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Glen Turrell, Rob Thorne, Jim Fitch.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, when they got a hooting and a hollering, the pages in the Bible rolled over.
Opinions expressed are those of Earl Guerin.
Yeah, but they're classic, I think.
Whose farm is that straight ahead of us on the right?
The farm on the right is Robert Dumas Farm.
I don't think it's any longer operational.
No, Bob
Operational. is it?
Bob wasn't able, for health conditions, he isn't able to operate it anymore. Sold his cows off and semi-retired.
Within the last few years.
Yeah.
I think Tommy Brooks's boys run that now.
His farm here.
No, the
Brooks Farm. Tommy, yeah, Tommy runs that one. Tommy and Larry,
Tommy
They were-
don't run it anymore. The two of Tommy's boys.
the
Tommy's
boys, I
boys,
think.
yeah.
Tommy's boys, I think, yeah, that's right.
You think we ought to take a left here, Earl? There's quite a lot of old houses down through
Oh,
here.
yeah. I'm going to try to tell you who lives there that did live there. I don't know who lives there now sometime.
What's this? Depot? Is this Depot Street?
Maple Street. Maple.
I don't know who that person is.
What's that?
I don't know who lives in here. That's the
Parsons.
Wesley
Well,
and
that there
Parsons,
is
yeah.
Lyndon and Peg Payne right there.
This one here?
Yeah, and there's Dr. Jim O'Neill's old home right there.
On the right?
Yeah, but Winston Norcross lives there now. Yeah.
Jim and Owen were
Yeah, they
doctors
were.
in what? In the 20s? Teens?
Yeah, no, early 20s. This is the old John LaFave place, the last that lived here. I don't know who lives there now. And this is what is it? Tom Moyer right here.
Town Mooers.
Yeah, Tom Moyer. And
Doesn't
Joyce Fair.
Joyce Fair lives
Joyce
there
Fair.
now.
Charlie Higgins used to
Charlie
live there
Higgins,
with her.
Now you're coming to the old milk, the old depot. There used to be a turntable here, Junior. Remember that? The Rutland and D&H would come in here and they'd turn and go back.
Is that right?
Yeah, and right here on the left was a cattle yard. Yeah, right there, and the train would come up there, and there was a platform. They'd load their cattle from there onto it.
There used to be a shirt factory right here.
Shirt factory right here on the corner, and there was right across was Tom Henderson's hotel, and then J.F. McDowell's store, and that was what turned into the shoe factory was J. McDowell's store. Yeah. And this was all cattle yard here. Then there was the milk station here. Right here was the milk station, and then Garen's, he sold Watkins product, Elmer Garen. And there was Will Barrow here, his father's a Kermit and Jenny, and now this, I don't remember this one here, Junior. I just can't.
Foster Peterkin and his
Peterkin,
wife lived. They were the
Yeah.
now one of the school teachers and his wife lives here now.
Yeah, what, I know who you mean.
Very, not for me. This home we just went past, the old Alfonso Guerin home he built here.
This is a Freddie Durbridge over here.
This brown.
Yeah,
structure.
Freddie Durbridge. This was all Garen's here too. This is all Fonzie Garen's. Not Fonzie, but what the heck's his name?
Yeah, Alfonso.
Farm? The
Yeah.
farm, yeah.
Yeah.
On the farm there. I don't know who this house is.
I don't remember who owned this place, but my poor old grandmother lived there, and my Uncle Rob lived right here. It didn't look like that then. Old Man Barry had come to me after a while, old Mr. Barry. And this was Norm Dupree's. Yeah. This is Bassford's. That was Mose Richards. You remember Mose Richards?
Yes.
Leona and Bob Bassford.
Yeah, it's like
There's a Rebidoux in there now. And that was a restaurant over there. And there's a theater.
Yeah, Ben Russell and his
Yeah.
Mooers Theater.
You bought a hamburger. You wanted to make sure your teeth fit good.
Now, as Calvin says, we're back on Route 11.
Oh, yeah. Can't miss Route 11 in Mooers Forks. That there is Leroy Manette's wife lives there. Margaret. This is the old R place right here. Willard, yeah.
I don't know who lives there now, do you?
Yeah.
Sample boy.
Young Sample. This is Howard Blair's. Was Howard Blair's. That's no, Howard lived over here, rather. That's Stevenson there, wasn't it? George Stevenson, I think.
By Barnes with his caboose out there.
Yeah.
Look the minutes and I'll switch another battery.
There's old Wally Knapp's place, the brick house. That was Decus's there.
Alright, we not only switched the battery, we switched locations. We've gone back to the edge of the Hemmingford Road. We're going to head down Route 11 by the cemetery.
Now this place on the right was a Fitch place, owned by the Fitches. But then Dr. Davis lived there.
Davis.
Yeah. Then the next place was John Kennedy's, right here in Maggie. And then there was John Brooks's. And, oh, I can't think of her name, save my soul. But the next place was the Kingsbury's. And then the old Sheffield place, Fred Sheffield. And then Seward Brooks's meat market. And on the end, he had a feed store. And then the next building was Ralph Lewis's hardware. Sold cars. And then Fanny Fifield had a Milner shop right where all this brush is. That's down.
What kind of cars did he sell?
Model T Fords.
Yeah.
And this is Henderson Rays. This is Floyd Dragoons. It was Media's Farmers. And that's LaValle's barbershop. That was Media's Farmers. And this is Ellen.
He was a barber too.
Yeah. And this is Ellen Bradley. And this is Purdy's Hotel. I guess it's owned by Francis Menard now, isn't it? Yeah.
So, yes.
Which way?
Go up here and take the B road.
This here was Edgar Morgan's garage. Yeah. And then Ted Willett. Ted Willett took it.
Remember going there in the war and getting the tire. It was a synthetic tire, and he says those damn synthetic tires, they don't last very long, I can tell you that.
We didn't go up the Gilbert Road here, did we?
You want to go here?
Okay, we'll go down Gilbert first.
Now there's a history up here to an old house that's tore down now, but I used to come across the railroad track when I was 7 years old, come here to my grandmother's and have dinner. She'd have it all set up on the stove in the heating oven. This was Antoine Brondo's right here, and Grandma's place was right here. It's been tore down right there. Yeah. This is Will Goss on the left, and on the right up here there's a cabin, but that was Dalbert Garrow's. This was Antoine Wood, right here. And the next farm up is Larry Brooks's now, but it was Gilbert's. Gilbert had a beautiful orchard here at one time too. Yeah.
This is an example of what's, I guess, necessary now to keep a farm alive. It's bigger and bigger, right?
Yeah. Now this next old house on the left, that was Dolph Willette's father's place. Here.
In that bag is... What's that? We switched batteries again. Found one that wasn't much life to it. We're turning around on the Grew Road, heading back down to Gilbert Road.
kilometers.
Oh.
This new home here is built by
John Gordon.
John Gordon. There's the old Laporte place right here where Joyce and her husband lives, Joyce Gordon. And this here was the old Garen place. And this one here was Pete Parrott's old home. That farm up there on the hill was Fred Gordon's. This was Joe Willette's here, and then there was a big garage right here. There was a garage right there, what's left of it. This is Clarence Willette. This is the old Eddie Higgins place. And then the next place is Ken Soden and his wife, right here, Olga Soden and Ken. This was Orville Netto's old home right here, and Paul Netto and his wife.
Orville Senior, right?
Yeah. Then there's another Joe Willette here. That was Victor's father, lived here. Then they had a flood one year and it washed it all out down through here. That's the old Higgins place. And there's the old Edgar Morgan place right there. There's the house on the right, the green one, that's Zephyr Rebedu's. I'm telling you, the people that was there, Junior, I don't know who's in there now. This is Plenty Dubuque right here. This is a new home. These are two new homes right here. I think that's a school teacher lives there, isn't it, Junior?
Probably.
And this here is a garden place. This is Kenneth Fee's residence right here on the right.
It's an area that's kind of cut off from civilization now with the bridge out.
Yeah.
Two bridges.
Two
now.
bridges out, right? An accident on this bridge, and they never reopened it after the
No.
accident.
This was all flooded out. That was Ernest Sample's boy's trailer.
Yeah, that was quite a sight there. They went down to rescue him. Let's turn around here, I guess.
Well, there ain't much below this.
No. Hit bottom?
No.
Left-hand side there, that's the Leonard Drown home. That
Yeah.
was a fire just before the ice storm came. We had a big fire, destroyed everything they had. They were gone, as I recall, to his daughter's place, I believe.
Yeah.
Came home and found they were gone to Canada somewhere to his daughter's place. Came home and found all his possessions burned up. Under the Sheila Drown. Sample, the first one in this place, or
Yep.
was somebody there before?
Yeah, there was Eddie Higgins' old home there, but Ed Rebedu lived there, but they tore it all down. They just got on tearing it down there. Of course, that gave Ernest a better view of everything. You
The
remember?
floodwater's closer now when they come.
Oh boy, they had some great floods down through here.
Yeah.
This is the old Zephy Rebidoux place right here.
Of course, this was the road. I saw a sign there laying down.
The old
This was-
Plattsburgh Road.
This was the road to Plattsburgh,
Yeah.
right where we came across that little bridge there. That road wasn't there before.
No.
Right at Manette's Furniture. It came to a T. This portion here where we're coming out on Route 11 back to Manette's was all
We got it pretty
head
well
towards
covered.
Toyota. Let's
Wanna go that way?
Yeah, let's go towards Toyota. Skip that portion of the town. People might get upset. Let's see, let's take another 20 minutes of tape here. So we'll have time to run up to
The old Edgar Guyette place. This is all new through here.
that's where the
This was John, no. This was Edgar Morgan's farm here too on the left. They raise ostriches down in there.
Now?
Yeah. Ostrich meat.
ostriches or emus?
Huh?
Emus or ostriches?
No, it's them big long-legged birds. I don't know what they call them, ostrich, don't they?
And llamas.
Huh?
No, they've got both, I think. I don't know if they raise emus around here or ostrich.
Ostrich, because I heard them mentioning them. But it don't matter, I don't want none anyway. That's what they raise.
Make for a good Thanksgiving dinner. A lot of leftovers then.
Well, we heard about Junior. Tell us about your family back, Earl. How long your family been in this area?
Well, I've been here going on 83 years. My father and mother, my mother was born in Chazy. My father was born in Mooers, right there where Orr's trailer is. Uncle Rachel and Aunt Lil, Aunt Tilly, and yeah. I've been right there where I'm living today. I've been there when my mother's house was there 7 years. I was 7 years old when I come there. So that's quite a few years.
How close to Toyota does the Mooers go?
You see a sign up here. I think, I don't know, is there a sign there, Junior?
For the road.
Huh?
Howard Road?
No, the
Blair Road.
Is that where it cuts off?
Blair Road goes over
Toward Chazy?
toward Chazy. Yeah.
Blair Road's in Mooers, though.
Yeah, it's on part of it on our side. There's a few homes on there. It cuts off by the Twin Bridge, doesn't it, Earl?
Yeah.
Eventually.
Leonard Swinton. He's been there a long time. Leonard Swinton.
Oh yeah, Leonard's been there quite a spell.
Was there a farm here before?
I'm trying to think of the name of them people, and I just can't do it. It'll come to me, but it's too late now. We've gone by it.
We'll be back.
Huff. I'll get it after a while. Al Huff. Norm Manette's old place. There you could get stuff to grease your joints there too.
There's a bar there?
Yeah. No, he sold on the side,
Oh.
like the other place in Mooers. There's the old Howard Road right there.
That's where
Sawmill was.
the sawmill, yeah.
He didn't rebuild, did he?
Rogers?
No.
Yeah.
He had the stone crushing works there now, John.
I call it, and they're reasonable doing their stuff.
That
Turn around
Blair,
to
this-
Blair Road here. on the left.
might be right up here to the left. Just if that's the one you want,
Yeah.
Calvin.
Yeah.
Blair Road.
There's a sign that says Shazy.
Yeah.
That's Blair Road. Just takes you out by the LaForest Road.
No,
Sideways.
I'll let you drive, John,
There's another one.
because it's on my side.
Okay, John.
Okay, got it.
Maybe we'll stay right out here and go right to Twin Bridges. Or now the Twin Cannons.
Twin Cannons.
Another 15 minutes worth of tape, so we'll pretty well fill it up.
Yeah.
We're not looking at much. We'll give the people at home a scare again and show them who's been taking us around. So you're 83, almost 83, you said earlier?
I'll be 83 the third day of this coming May. Or 1917.
During the summertime, working in the telephone company, he used to tell me how deep to dig a hole and how to dig it and how to set the pole and make sure we lined them up properly so they didn't zigzag.
Well, your old man didn't want it crooked either. I'll tell you that. But you very seldom see your grandfather or old Morris on the line. Once in a great while they'd show up, but not
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, a day I think my father and Uncle Ratio was two of the oldest members they had on the line.
They were there before Johnny Kennedy?
Oh yes. Long time before John come up.
Has this been a Hawksby farm for a long time?
Yep. Tommy Hawksby. And he worked for Ralph Lewis and that up at there when they were selling cars in Mooers. Tom did.
You said Model Ts. He sold Model A's too, because he did told me.
Well, I mean, it was Model A's, not Model T's. Model A's. And you go to the store and you get a new car for $300, $350. Today you can't get the tires for it for that.
Pretty soon you won't be able to buy the gas for it either.
That's right. Well, we'll get a horse and cutter. I don't think it'd be too many years, Junior. We won't need no gas.
No, that's true.
You don't need any.
And somebody else worry about it, eh?
That's right.
What year were you born, Frank?
1925.
She's just a kid yet, eh, John? Same with my wife is 74. Jesus. I told her you better put an ad in the paper for help when I go.
Superna's Berry Farm on the right.
Yeah. That was.
There's that new stretch. Now that building looks like it's been there a long time, but until what, the 30s?
What is that
When
out?
did this road come in?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This section of 22, you mean?
Yeah.
They see right here where the railroad came through. There used to be a feed store here.
Tell me, Earl, there's some like tracks that every once in a while come up through the road. Was there? It wasn't a trolley car there?
No. The engines, the train would come up from Plattsburgh, and they'd switch over here at the depot. They'd switch and go back. The Rutland would go back, and the D&H would go back.
They had a diamond here.
Yeah. Sure.
Mooers.
Yeah.
By Blue Note where the tracks cross.
right by the Blue
That's
Note,
right.
yeah.
Right there, back at the Grange Hall, right down through there.
You check our Larry Barnes tape, you'll find all about that. It's a shame to see that old Rutland building going to waste, though. Huh?
Yeah. Poor devil there one time, he was in between the two trains flagging, and putting out things, how they'd stick their arm out and they'd put that rod over it, and to get a message. And he fell. He got both of his legs cut off. He bled to death right on the station floor there before they could get help.
Who was this?
Oh, I don't know who he was, Junior, but that's when old Bert Corkins was running it. Yeah. Fell between, he must have got dizzy and fell between the trains.
Recreation field to our right. Who had this farm before the Beddards?
Lokies. Bibby Goki. And he sold it and he went to Detroit. Bibby and Helen owned it. And right on this road here, there used to be a man, I can't think of his name now. He had a nice home back there.
There was some Weldons back there.
Jesse Weldon, that's it. Good thing you mentioned it, John. Jesse Weldon.
I know that because we have a woodlot back there.
Yeah.
The only time of year we could ever get in that was if we had an open winter and it was real cold.
Yeah.
Because it was all
Oh, it was
swamp.
swampy. Yeah.
Good wood back in there.
Well, the railroad used to come right down through there,
Yes,
John.
right.
Because we used to go there rabbit hunting, and we'd shoot the rabbits when they'd cross the railroad track. Right. This farm on the left, that was Alec LaValle's, George's father.
Did Roberts family grow up there too?
What's that?
Did the Roberts family live there for a while?
I don't ever
They
remember.
lived there after, yes.
Eh?
Yeah, the Roberts family lived there after
Oh, after Alec.
Alec moved off and moved to Mooers.
Dealer Davenport there, and I don't know what this business is here.
Well, this guy here is the one was running that farm up there by Norm Davison's.
Big
You
cat.
know that where the roof all caved in? Where were they from? Switzerland, wasn't it? Switzerland. Oh, he got a pile of money off of that poor man from Switzerland, I'll tell you.
Do this right, did
That's all right, John. That's on my side, too.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who drives like that.
You know what I tell them, John, when they don't like my driving? The door is on 4 hinges to get out and walk.
Well, gentlemen, we've got about 10 minutes tape left, I think. Yeah, we could probably head back, go down the La Valley Road and run it out on the La Valley Road.
That's right. We have a lot of new building on this short piece of road here. A lot of new homes. And
You're right, Calvin. I thought there was a lot of building going. There was a lot of building going on in Ross's Point, which there is, but there's certainly a lot of building going on. There have been in the last few years here.
Probably weren't too many houses on this road back in the 50s or so. Huh?
No, there wasn't. No.
Ron Gibbons, son of Ewell Gibbons. Take a left, John.
Uncle Mert Laporte used to live right there, and Emil Giro lived there.
Probably home. That's Bob Ben lived there for
Yeah.
a while. Growing up. Bob Ben.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Ronald.
Yeah, Ron Trombley, yeah.
Didn't know that. Well, that's when he went to Mooers for a while, right?
Hey, you know what, Junior? I only got one friend in Mooers, and he's got one less than I got.
Oh my. Oh my.
You don't believe that, Junior? You remember when Floyd Dragoon had this farm down here?
Yeah, and Charlie had it a long time.
Oh yeah, Higgins farm.
Charlie had this farm?
Oh yeah. Tim Higgins' farm. Charlie run it, then Floyd Dragoon bought it. Then Sam Davis down here.
Gays have it.
Yeah. Boy, they're industrious.
Yeah, we're in the final closing minutes of this tape. Coming up on the Angelville Road, Daniel Farm.
That farm ahead of us.
That's the Leeward Manette farm.
Let's go as far as the Gagnos. We did go down the Angelville Road. That would take us around to a big three corners where Leo Everett lived, where the Mooers, Swayze, and Town of Champlain all intersect. Turn around anywhere here you want, John. Daniels is up ahead. That's the last place in the town of Mooers up there. We're at the St. John's Road, which is also known as the Town Line Road at the other end of it.
Right?
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Closing thoughts, gentlemen. This tape's going to run out in a minute or two.
What's that, Ellen?
Just looking Frank, closing thoughts. This tape's about to run out. We're about out of tape. Appreciate you guys taking time to do this.
We'd like to thank Calvin Castine and Dr. John for chauffeuring us around. Earl and I have had a very good time reminiscing and going over the village of Mooers. And if you have any extra change in your pockets at this time of year, Calvin could use some funds putting on Channel 24. He does a very nice job, and anything you could donate, we would appreciate. Thank you.
Just exactly what I was going to say. Bob Ben used to say, and please support hometown people.
I just think it's important that we do this little tour like this because it's the end of a decade. It's the end of the century, the end of the millennium, and it'd be nice to show people what our towns look like hundreds of years from now. People look back. It'd be nice to have a record of this 100 years ago or 200 years ago.
I've certainly learned a lot of history today. Two well-known Moors and Moors Forksians.
John, you drive there now and keep quiet. I enjoyed myself those years.
Very nice out today. And this boy does pretty well here, down okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're hard workers.
By golly, their father was a hard worker.
He was, too.
Poor Rollins, and
Rollins, yeah.
he wouldn't quit smoking. He just
Yeah.
butt one cigarette right onto the other one, and he smoked 2 or 3 packs a day.